We're live.
So we're live. Hi.
Welcome to our podcast webinar. So it's the Real
Real
Healthy You.
healthy
The
you.
Real Healthy You. I'm Jamie,
I'm Barbie.
and we are here to wow.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
We had a
That
little
came down
problem.
really well.
Exactly. So we are here to talk about intermittent fasting.
Amen.
And we are on our day 2 of our 5-day fast
Mhm.
on intermittent fasting. That is going to
There it goes. Now we're complete.
wow, that was a lot. So we're doing day 5 of our intermittent fast. And I'm sorry, we're doing day 2
That's right.
of our 5-day intermittent fast. So we're gonna get started in a moment, just getting into what's going on for us today after we fasted for one whole day. One whole day. So as people start to join in, hi guys.
How
Hello.
are you?
Welcome. Um, we are talking about what's going on for you after one day of intermittent fasting.
Mhm.
So, as you know, we have a podcast, and you're used to hearing us on the podcast and
Mhm.
not seeing us.
Mhm.
So now you're seeing us, which I don't know, it's just a little different being seen. And then we can't see you. So it's kind of like we're talking, and is anybody out there? Like, what? Hello?
Mhm.
It's kind of strange.
It is. It really is. Because we see it. We see us.
Exactly. So, yeah. But anyway, so thanks for coming. And I know you're going to learn a lot because intermittent fasting and fasting in general is a deep topic.
Yeah.
So much to learn about. So we'll start with, if you have any questions as we're going along, just go ahead and put them in the chat.
Yep.
And we may answer the question as we're talking about stuff.
Mhm.
But if not, we'll, towards the end, we'll make sure we check the questions and answer any questions that didn't get answered yet.
And then, of course, if you don't, if you think of something after, just go on the Facebook community, put in your questions or your Gmail. Go into the
Info
at therealhealthyyou.com.
Yeah.
And get your questions answered.
For sure.
Or share your views or share whatever.
And then we'll be back on Thursday and Friday. So if there's other things that are happening, you can like wait until then and you can talk about it on the webinar or again, the Facebook group or email. So, all right. So let's see. Reactions. Okay. So you have the ability to react. So in this webinar, you have the ability on the chat screen. There's a little emoji to the left there of the chat. You have the ability to have reactions using the emoji. So when you hit the emoji, you have all these options of things that you can click. So definitely take advantage of doing that while we are talking so that we can hear your feedback, because again, we can't see you.
Right.
So these little reactions and emojis, it make it like we can connect with who's out there, you know. All right, so what are we going to start with? Maybe how you feeling? Let's just check in. Let's get started with checking in on, you know, how are you feeling today? What's going on with your feelings? So put it in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10. How do you feel today? Ooh, I almost broke my fast last night.
Uh-oh.
Because I was in the kitchen during my fast. Yes. Yes, that's actually a good point. We're going to talk a little bit about ways you can protect yourself from stumbling. And then you almost did. So that tells me that you fought through it somehow.
Yeah, you were aware. That's I think we just downplay that.
Yeah.
Being aware is so incredible. Yes. We walk around so hypnotic most of the time. I mean, I can remember years ago, I used to drive, I come from Boston, and driving the streets in Boston is like race car driving. It's really hot, hectic. I don't know how it is now, and I don't really want to know.
The same.
No, I don't want to know. It doesn't matter. But then, and of course, I was younger, and so it didn't bother me as much. And I only noticed it when I came here, how hectic it was. But you know what I used to say all the time, Jamie? You might have heard it many times. These people would walk in front of your vehicle, so hypnotic, as if they had another bum at home once you knocked that one off. I know that sounds terrible. It sounds Boston-y, like Boston, how you would talk in Boston. But we are so hypnotic. And so to be aware, for this person to be aware that she noticed that, that is such a great thing, to just notice I am in trouble here a little bit, you know?
Exactly. And that's half the battle, is being aware of what's going on around you in your mind.
Mhm.
What are your triggers? What's making you feel certain ways and all that. So for sure. So she's at 9.5 today. I'm feeling pretty good myself.
Yeah.
I would go in the 9 ranges myself today.
Yeah.
I feel pretty 9-ish.
Yeah.
What about
You're
you?
9-ish?
What about you?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely 9-ish, but I've had a lot of practice too. You have to understand. But yeah, I'm 9-ish. I'm probably 10-ish, but I don't know. But I tell you what,
But 10 means there's nowhere else to go.
there is nowhere else to go for me. But no, I'm only kidding. But you know what I did notice?
What?
I noticed when we put down, everybody put down when they were going to start their fast,
Mm-hmm.
the 12-12 or the 14, whatever, and I said 18-6.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot that I had stopped eating at 2 p.m. yesterday.
Oh.
I did not eat from 2 p.m. yesterday.
Okay.
So when today came and I was supposed to eat at 4, I had already passed 24 hours.
That's true.
Because 2 to 2.
Right.
So when I did eat at 4, it was actually 26 hours.
Right.
And I said, oh, okay, you go, girl. And here, what I love about it is you'll get to that point where it just happens.
Yeah, that's true.
It just happens.
That's
and
really
you said,
true.
oh, wow, it was. You have to actually look at it and
Yeah.
say, oh, whoa, that was 26 hours. Hey. So tomorrow I'll probably eat a little earlier, maybe 2, or maybe, I don't think I'll go to 24, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll go to that, but I'd like to vary.
Exactly, as you should. So you've officially fasted for 1 whole day. So do you feel much different than any other day? I mean, if you were doing like a 12-12 fast, you may not feel a whole lot different than you felt normally, because it's not an extreme fast, 12 hours.
Right.
So you may not feel as much. If you were in a shorter eating window, maybe like an 18-6 or something, you might feel it a little bit more. But today, you said what you did, the 2 o'clock. I definitely did. Mine ended up being something other than I thought it would be, to be honest. I was supposed to fast on Monday. So we came to the webinar. I had already been fasting that day. And I didn't really mean to, as much as I was busy during the day on Monday. And when I thought to eat, I didn't have time. So I was like, oh, I'll do it later. And then something else and something else. And before you know it, the whole day. And then I'm getting ready to do the webinar. And I hadn't eaten all day. So by the time the webinar came and it ended, I'm not going to go and eat after the webinar and by the time it finished, then we had some technical stuff. So it's like 9 o'clock, 9:30. Just forget it. I'll just don't eat. So I ended up going into today.
Right.
Again, busy. I had classes. So the first opening I had was around 11:40 after my last class. So 11:40. So that means I did 36 hours. Not necessarily meaning to, but I felt fine about it. And this is part of, as you fast more, like if I asked you right now, go do a 36-hour fast, you'd probably be like, what?
No.
That's outrageous. I'm going to feel terrible. And you might kind of feel terrible, But if you fast ongoingly, practicing it through the years, through the months and years, your fasting muscles get stronger and stronger. Your body gets more accustomed to taking care of itself and not needing all this feeding. So that will happen. That flexibility, it starts happening. And like you said, you ended up going longer. It just happened that way. It wasn't like you were like, oh my gosh, I have to try to go. It wasn't like that. And at first, it kind of is.
But you know what you just brought to my mind?
What?
I'm sure we've all done this. Have you ever noticed years ago, but before you started all this beautiful health journey, I used to go I would just do my day, and then maybe a day or two, whatever happened, I would say, oh my God, I haven't eaten all day.
Right.
Oh my God, I haven't even
eaten. It's terrible. Like,
oh my God. Do you know I haven't eaten all day?
We all do.
Do you know that?
We all do.
And I said it I said it as if it was a suffering. It was a tragedy. It was like, how dare I not eat all day? Now I say, please, Father God, just let me go days. I don't care.
But no, seriously, it is like that. You'll just say, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're like, dude, I need to eat now. I haven't eaten all day. And it's like, it's this big, desperate thing. And it is when you're sugar addicted and carb addicted.
That's
It
right.
does. It feels like that's a really long time. But as you get into fasting more and more, it's less and less of that.
Right.
So I see something in the comment here. Let me see. I can't stay as I have finals this week. Nice. Say I fasted 20 hours today.
Shut
wow,
up.
9 to 6. Good for you. Excellent. Woohoo!
That is a great job.
Awesome, awesome sauce.
Right.
We're gonna
That
put a
was
little.
great.
Oh, that's amazing, amazing, and amazing. Good job. Excellent. That was for Weenie. 20
Oh, that's
20
awesome.
hours today. And so
Yeah.
here's what's interesting, like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
She didn't mean to fast 20 hours necessarily. She had said in yesterday's something like 16:8 or
That's
18
right.
or something.
Yeah. Yep.
She ended up going 20 hours.
Yep.
That's crazy. And then she's saying, I'll try 21 hours tomorrow. What?
Right.
It's like you get into it and your body starts calling for it. That's amazing. I'm really encouraged by that. I see Kella messed up her fast with only 30 minutes remaining. Oh my gosh.
That's
Okay,
not
so
bad.
no,
That's
that
not
is
bad. That's good.
I'm so glad you shared that because part of what we're going to talk about today is exactly that. So hold the thought.
Right.
We got you on that right there.
Right,
We got
right.
you on that. So first, Mom was about to share a little bit about when she first started fasting and
Yeah.
what kind of things, what it looked like when she first started as opposed to now.
Yeah. Well, way back when, I couldn't fast because, well, first of all, I didn't know anything about fasting actually. What I did was I started my health journey in what we're all doing now and have been doing, and that is getting out of the sugar addiction.
Right.
Once I started getting and just putting the poison away, that's what I call it, the sugar away, I noticed that because my eating was changing and I wasn't as addictive, which meant I wasn't eating as often, I found fasting a little bit better. I started fasting kind of not really unknowingly, because if you notice, you will go more hours in the day without even realizing we're intentionally fasting. But when you start, I noticed I was fasting not even knowingly. And then when I realized what fasting was, and I started learning more, and I said, then I got intentional. I said, oh, I could do this. I'll do 12-12 because I had something I could go with. 12,
right.
12.
A structure. Like
Before it was like, did I eat breakfast?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't eat breakfast. Oh my gosh. You know what? Should I eat now? It's 3:00. Whatever. That was all guessing games and all little play games and all that, not knowing what the heck. Then as I grew to know what to do and that there is this thing called fasting, hey, I said, gee, I've been doing kind of that already. So anyway, that's how I started. And so as my fasting got better and better, naturally I felt better and better. And then I started noticing sometimes it was a little bit of a struggle more than it should have been. And then I started realizing, okay, you're not eating the sugar. You know that. You got rid of the oils, all the crap. You got that going on. But hey, what are you drinking? What is in your drinks? What is in? Yeah. This is that artificial sweetener.
Right.
Then I got there and I said, that's a part of it right there. Once I got rid of the artificial sweeteners, the fasting started because I wasn't as hungry. I wasn't reaching for the sugar. I wasn't reaching for the up.
Yeah.
I wasn't crashing all the time anymore. Right. My fasting was lasting longer. Before you knew it, I was gone.
Yeah. Insulin and all
oh
that.
My,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The diabetes went away and all of that. That's my story. So I don't have diabetes. And that's when the fasting got longer and longer and easier and easier.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, here it is. So now.
To be honest, when you first start fasting, everybody has different experiences
yes.
with that first starting.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on where you are metabolically when you start.
Yes.
Like how healthy are you in your metabolism,
mm-hmm.
right? And then where's your mind when you first start? Do you have support around you when you first start?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of what's your why?
Yes.
All of those play into when you
Yeah.
first start, how things might go kind of sideways or not. So when I first started fasting, I always ate small little bits a day. I didn't eat big amounts at once. Mostly, I mostly just eat a little here, all
Well,
through the whole day.
That's your story, though. Your kids know that you eat like a bird.
I
So that
understand.
was your whole life.
Well, yeah, but so what I'm saying is eating all the time like that.
Yep.
Fasting, it would be like, well, I'm not eating that much anyway. I'll just don't eat. But if I'm used to grabbing, I didn't eat, but I was still grabbing something. Like I said yesterday, I'll grab the handful of whatever. And I thought that was okay because it's just a little handful of whatever. It's not a whole meal. I'm not eating. I'm not eating, right? But everything you put in your mouth is eating. And so for me, the fasting came when it was like, okay, stop all the little stuff. And that was hard because the reason it was hard is because when I stopped the little stuff, when it was time to fast, I was hungry because I really wasn't eating enough when I wasn't fasting, right? Because if I'm eating just a little half a sandwich and I'm eating a little, handful of or fruit or something, by the time that fasting, it's time to stop eating, I don't have enough calories in me. I'm not doing like what's happening. It's like I wasn't doing it right. And because of that, it made it hard. It felt weird. But then once I realized about the whole nibbling and all that jazz, eat, feel full, eat. Then it was like, oh, okay. Then it got a little bit easier and a little bit easier. And I'm saying this and Mom's saying that because you're at a point where you're trying to change something that was there for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Kella mentioned, I messed up with half an hour left. First of all, it's a half an hour. That's throw out the window. That's like, don't even count. Like, it's kind of like if you had 10,000 pennies and you lost 100 of them. Would you even notice? Right? That 30 minutes, like, what? No, you made it. It's good. That's a little flex window, a little grace window. Just call it a day. Right? But more than that, we're going to talk about in a little bit about grace and what that means and everything.
And then on the other side of that coin is she noticed it.
Yeah, again.
That is like, I'm telling you, that awareness is the key here. She noticed she had a half hour to go. That half hour is perfectly noticeable and you still made it.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So now put in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think you did today? Because what your mind thinks is important. So how do you think you did? How do you rate yourself versus how somebody else might rate that? 1 to 10, how well did you do today? So for me, I did really well today. I did start feeling a little hungry at the end because, like I said, I didn't really mean to fast that long. Just happened. So maybe I'll say I did an 8.5 maybe today. 8.5.
So I look at it as I didn't do it. Okay. My body spoke today.
Okay.
My body took back its tempo. My body took back everything it was supposed to take so that it could do what it needs to do. And I just obeyed. I just kind of went along with the ride.
So what was the rating that the body gets then?
The body gets a rating that I listened and I gave it all I had. And that's where my grace is. In other words, tomorrow I might be able to give even more. So if I have to rate it 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I know, but
how do you think you did? We need to get in our minds. How do you think you did?
I think I did 12. No, I'm just kidding.
Gosh. But okay, I'll accept.
I would say, yeah,
I would say, I
would say 9.5, even though I feel I did 10.
Wow. Extra.
Serious.
So it's important to understand how our mind is speaking to us. Okay. That's really important because what your mind is saying is going to affect your attitude and your eating. All that's going to be affected by that. So did the fast go according to plan today? Maybe you'll say yes. The one who said I almost broke my fast because I was in the kitchen. So you might call that a yes, I rocked it out.
That's
I
what
almost
I mean.
failed, but I didn't. Yes. Yes, right? Maybe things didn't quite go the way you exactly wanted. The messed up my fast 30 minutes before it ended. It didn't quite go how I wanted. Maybe your schedule changed. Maybe you lost track of time in your eating window. Maybe you were tempted. Maybe whatever. So in the chat, put hashtag life changes.
Life changes.
Because life changes. Hashtag life. Hashtag life changes. Hashtag life changes. Life changes, y'all. It's not always just going to be bam, 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 bam. Life changes.
That's right.
And it's okay.
That's right.
And so what we want to talk about today is a little bit more about sort of what you may be feeling as you're beginning to fast today, what you may have felt, and what you may be feeling tomorrow. But the question is, did you feel hungry today? Did you feel hungry during your fasting window? Like, did you feel like, I'm hungry? And then you have to ask yourself, was it physical hunger? Like physical, like hunger pains, like your body's like, or maybe it was habit hunger.
That's true.
We're going to talk about emotional or habit hunger.
That's right. Or boredom.
Yeah.
Or maybe you needed energy. I've done that. I could be so down in my energy. This is years ago. Seriously, when I first started, no cap. Anyway, I'd be so down on my energy when I first started that I think I needed to reach for food to give myself energy, when it was actually the opposite. But I didn't know that then.
Well, the way your system was working, it was that
Absolutely.
way. The way, if you're on the carb and the sugar burning system, that's how you get energy.
That's
you
right.
get food, and the carbs and the sugar gives you energy. So that was physiological, needing energy. But sometimes it's a habit, like, oh, it's time for me to eat right now. What time is it? Oh, it's time to eat. Or like you said, I haven't eaten in so long, I got to eat. And it's more of a habit, or people come around. There's this social time. Hey, what are you doing? It's time to eat. You know, it's, oh, yeah, okay. And you just eat because it's time to eat. That's more of a habit hunger.
That's true.
And then sometimes emotional, like I feel a certain way and I'm insecure. I feel unsafe. I feel sad, or I feel anxious, or whatever I'm feeling. Lonely, whatever.
Well, food always replaced that anyway. We always use food for that emotion, those emotions. It always was our friend.
Some people a lot more than others. That's and it's true. Just part of upbringing. It's part of the way you kind of connected with the world. Yeah. And there's so many pieces to that. And that's not a good or a bad. That's just what it is. You know, and noticing how you respond to wanting to eat, you know. And so we do have a couple of episodes on the podcast.
Yes.
It's a series on mindset.
Yeah.
And like, why are you eating? You know, what's going on in your mind? What are you saying to yourself? And all of this sort of awareness of your mind, because there's such a big mind-body connection. And even when we talked about Proverbs, in the book of Proverbs, it talks about a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Yeah. And it's like that connection between how you feel, your mind, your emotions, and your health, and how there's a connection there.
And you know, another tip you could use when you feel like you're almost there at that point of your the last hour of your fast, and you need that little hump, that little help, just put a little Himalayan salt in your water. Put a little sea salt in your water. Just sip a little bit. You'll be amazed how you'll get right to that next hour, or that next wherever that goal is. It will help you
for sure. So I see some more. Let's see. Sheila Spiegel. Hello, Sheila. Eric Hella. And Dennis. Oh, that's going to be Destiny. Oh, hi.
Hi.
So
Destiny.
When Kella said, you know, messed up with the last 30 minutes, I think it's just so amazing that you said that today, when what we were planning to talk about today was failure. I am putting in quotes.
Failure, yeah.
I'm putting in quotes because, you know, you blew it. Somehow you blew it on your fast.
Yeah.
You stumbled. You ate 30 minutes before it was over. You did something that it's like, oh, yikes, I did whatever. And you feel like you blew it. But there's no failure here. I really need you guys to get this. There is no failure here. None. Zero. Everything is learning, growing, and strengthening your new pathway. That's what that is. None of this is failure. This is training. And I know all of you will have trained for something at some point in your life.
And I have to add one thing, because I always go here. I know it's mushy and it's It's loving.
Mhm.
It's loving because the whole purpose is to take your temple back.
Mhm.
The whole purpose is to allow God, how he created us, to allow that to work from inside us and heal us.
Yes.
That's loving. That is the most caring and loving thing you can do for yourself. That's
Yeah.
why there is no failure here, ever.
Exactly.
The fact that you're even doing that.
Exactly. There is none. You're right. So the training, think about a time when you trained. Think about it. Maybe you played an instrument, you did a sport, you somehow trained yourself some way to do something,
Mhm.
whether it was get up early in the morning
Mhm.
or you trained yourself to go to the gym or
Mhm.
whatever. There's something you had to discipline yourself to do, right? Think about that right now. Take a minute, put it in your mind, and think about that, what that is for you,
Yeah.
right? And when you were training, you knew you were not going to always do it right. You knew you were going to kind of mess up. You knew you were going to need to get better. Like you went in with the goal of getting better. So the expectation is you're not
Yeah.
going to do great all the time, like especially when you first start out,
Yeah.
right? So when you did something good, you're like, yes, look at me, I did it. You celebrated that,
Mhm.
right? That's what you need to do now. This is a training. Your body's not used to this. The fact that you went all the way in your fast except 30 minutes, throw that 30 minutes in the trash for real. You did it. Good. It's done. Live and learn. Now, here's where you can grow. What made that 30 minutes happen? Now reflect. Okay. How did I, quote, mess up in that 30 minutes? What was happening around me? What was the trigger? What was going on so that I can prepare for that? Get ahead of that and learn. Again, it's learning, right? So I hope you are feeling like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
So no catastrophizing. No catastrophizing. I love saying that. No catastrophizing.
Catastrophizing. I like
Making
that too.
everything
It's in
catastrophe.
my way.
I know, because it's up here.
Oh.
There's no catastrophizing. We're not making things a catastrophe. Something happened. Oh well. Next, move on.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
No catastrophe there. Right? So that's one. The second one is not to beat yourself up. What are you saying to yourself? How about that self-talk?
Oh yeah. Oh, I talk to myself all day long.
We all do.
Yeah. I just changed my rhetoric now. That's all. I'm just in a different season, a different place. And you'll get there too. So in your season and in your place, you can still talk to yourself.
Of course.
But you know what? We listen to everything we say.
Right. Yeah.
We listen to every word we say. In our heads, we listen to ourselves.
Right.
So we need to give ourselves grace. We need to talk to ourselves like we love ourselves.
Yes.
We need to talk to ourselves like you did a good job. So what if people hear you talking to yourself? So
all right,
what?
now you're doing too much.
So what? No, really.
Now you're doing too much.
Yeah, really. So what? People say, she's talking to herself.
No.
Yes, I am.
No, I cannot condone that. Sorry. I'm sorry. I cannot condone.
Well, they say it's two things. Either you're rich or you're insane.
Okay. I will not condone that. Yes, you are talking to yourself in your head. But if you go around talking to yourself and you say, oh, I was listening to the Real Healthy You when they said this is healthy to talk, I will not
Yeah, but
that.
if those young ladies, Freewini and
I'm
Kella,
just saying.
were all by themselves in their kitchens,
Well, if you're by yourself, that's fine.
they could talk to themselves.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
Amen. I give you permission.
That's
Trust
fine.
me.
So
it works.
So earlier, when before some of you got on, I talked about how in the chat there's the little reaction emojis, and we were encouraging you because we're literally talking to a screen. There's nobody there. It's a little bit like, is anybody out there?
No.
So it's really cool and helpful to us if you use those reaction emojis. Or chat or something so that we see that you're there and that you're connecting with us, because we have no way of knowing and it's a little bit strange. So anyway, so do that. And then in the meantime, no mean self-talk. I screwed up. I stink. I'm never going to get this right.
Yeah.
I'm the worst. I knew I couldn't do it. All this. Don't talk to yourself that way. So one thing I will tell you is this. This is how I would tell you is this. Don't allow yourself, don't listen to yourself saying things that you wouldn't allow somebody else to say to you.
That's right.
Okay? Take it like that. So if you're in your head going, oh, I stink. I am so like,
how stupid are you?
I'm dumb. Like, what is, I'm so stupid. If you were saying that, just imagine somebody outside of you. And you said, I messed up my fast 30 minutes before it was over. And they went,
you're stupid.
You're stupid. You stink.
Yeah,
you're the worst.
Yeah, you'll get street real quick.
What a loser. You would never accept anybody talking to you like that.
That's right.
Don't talk to yourself like that. I'm not saying you were, but I'm saying we do it. So let's be aware of that and let's not do that. No mean self-talk. Okay, so what else? All right, so now we talking about not, giving yourself grace when you stumble and mess up. But at the same time, so on the other side of that is do be intentional.
Yes.
Right? Don't be mediocre. Don't just go in half cock saying, hey, I'm just going to try it. And if it happens, it happens. No. We don't want that side of the coin either, right? We don't want the hard beat up ourselves. And we also don't want the mediocrity. Yeah. We want a high standard and we want to give it our best. And when we stumble, it's okay. That's where the grace comes in.
And always keep in mind the why. I keep saying that. That's the most important part of the whole journey. Why are you doing it?
Right.
And if you keep that in mind, you'll be surprised how it'll help you get over that.
Yeah.
Real quick. Like, okay, that happened. Next.
Right. Exactly. And it's interesting about the why because I don't really, I'm just getting into the whole why thing. Because, well, there is a why. My why is, okay, you need to do better. But it's really just very, do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
It's not really this passionate why.
Yeah.
Like, I want my children to see and know and grow. And, some people have a why, one of those, And I don't. I have okay, this is what I need to do. It's very anesthetic. Just do it. You need to do it. Just do it. So it's more like that. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten more into okay, this is more than just do it. There's a bigger reason here. And it starts being that. So, we can definitely grow in that way.
And it gets spiritual for me because everything gets spiritual for me. I don't know. It's just the way I am. But my why is because that's God. My why is because he created this and I destroyed it.
Yes.
For whatever reasons. I didn't know. I did know, whatever. I destroyed it or I allowed it to be destroyed and everything went haywire. And guess what? I just don't want all the pains and the agony that goes with it. I need to be aware that my body can heal and I'm ready to just give up and give it to God.
Exactly.
Honor him.
Because interestingly enough, where do you think we got our bodies? What? Science didn't give us our bodies.
That's right.
And our moms, though, they had us.
Yeah.
They housed us and then they birthed us, but they didn't give us our bodies. God made our bodies miraculous machines that are way above and beyond anything science. I mean, science can go on and on for tens of thousands of years.
Right.
They'll never get to the bottom of it because it's so beyond the human mind. And then the more you recognize that, like, God doesn't make junk.
That's right.
This miracle of a body that God made, what? It can do way more than we could ever ask or imagine.
Absolutely.
If we just get out of the way. And I think we're learning more to step back and rely on the body doing what it already wants to do. But we keep stopping it by putting things in it and exposing it to things and doing things to it knowingly and unknowingly. But that's what we're trying to do, is get out of our body's way and let it do what it does, right? So when you think about intermittent fasting as well as fasting has so many benefits. So many, like too many to say at once. So we're probably going to do a few benefits tonight, some more each, just do some more each night. But you're growing your fasting muscles. Each time you fast, you get a little better at it. And you just get a little better and a little better. And this is a journey. You're not fasting for a week or 5 days or and then never fasting again for the rest of your life. You'll go in and out of fasting. In and out. You may not be fasting for a while. Maybe you'll go out of it and lose it for a while and be like, oh, wait a minute. and you'll circle back around. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or this is it for you. Once you get on the path, you're just on
It's
it.
over.
Everybody's everybody, right?
That's true.
Yeah, I'm on it. Like I won't ever get off.
I'll
of
never.
it. Even
neither.
if there's a day, like don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I might end up somewhere at a wedding or some event or
That's
barbecue
right.
or cookout or do something, whatever, and I might eat a different way that day. So our bodies are perfectly capable of cleaning up the mess if you don't mess it every single day.
That's right.
Think about your bedroom. You leave a pile of clothes on the chair, 3 or 4 things. So what? Clean it up. No biggie. But if you leave 3 or 4 things every day, by the end of the week or 2 weeks, you have this big pile of junk on your chair.
But then it's your clothes' bedroom. It's not your bedroom anymore.
Exactly. And so then it takes that much longer to clean it up. So if you are fasting regularly, cleaning out your body regularly, giving your body what it needs regularly, when you get off and do something different, the body will be like, oh, okay, I'll take care of that. No biggie. I hope that makes sense.
It does. It does. Trust
Amen.
me.
So,
and you know what? You might want to notice as you get into fasting, you will fast differently a lot.
That's true. So many types.
And it's okay.
Yep.
It's okay to do all these different fasts. Yep. So right now, if you're 12-12 and you're doing it for 5 days, you might go to 14-6. You might go to the 12-12 during the week, another day. You might go up to 18. Before you know it, oh man, I'm not even eating for 24 hours in that week. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's the art of fasting is the key.
That's a good point.
And different hours is fine.
Totally.
And guess what? The body gets so good at it that what'll happen is your body will be telling you.
It will.
It'll be effortless.
Kind of like
just
when
be
you ended
doing
up,
it.
Kind of like when you ended up fasting longer. It wasn't because you were necessarily wanting to fast longer. Your body wasn't saying, hey, feed me. Nothing was being said. And you were just in such a peaceful, you were living your life.
That's right.
You weren't revolving around when you ate last and when you're going to, you were just living your life. And then your body eventually said, hey, I'm ready now. Okay. And then, you know, it was like that.
Can I have a little energy right now? I used all your stuff. Let me
exactly.
Get
what a difference. And then the more you fast, you start feeling more comfortable fasting. You're less apprehensive. You don't feel as like, is this okay? I feel kind of weak. I feel a little dizzy. Is that okay? Should I stop?
Just go get some salt and water.
Oh my gosh. When I first started, I remember.
Just get some salt and water. You'll be fine.
When I first started fasting, right? I would get dizzy. Like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I feel like dizzy, like low blood sugary, like what's happening? Or like a little quick quivery, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Like, oh no, maybe I'm going to fall out. Something's going to happen to me. Is my heart, like, am I going to have a heart attack? You know, I was just feeling all these things. Like, I didn't know. I just knew my body was doing something different. Hey? And so you won't, the more you fast, the more you know that you're okay. You're less apprehensive. You feel less nervous about the whole thing. And that gives you confidence that you're okay. You're on the right track. And you're less apt to, just panic as a result and panic.
You're not going to panic.
Yeah.
You're not going to panic. If you're not feeling well, either stop your fast or get you some salt and water and see if that makes a difference and sip on it a little bit. If it changes things, that's fine. If it don't, break your fast.
Exactly.
Not a problem. Get some bone broth. Drink it.
Interestingly enough, so what? I really have to say this. If you break your fast, so what? So what?
Right. Because
you have your whole life to fast another time. So what?
The body's adjusting from the way you've been doing it all these years. It's pleading to get into a normal, that innate intelligence to heal. And it really wants to. And you'll go through that little period and that's fine. But you'll be amazed at the water and the salt, the difference, or a little bone broth or something. You'll be fine.
Yes. And not to make it so rigid, because again, that's not listening to your body either, to be that rigid, right? 2 is if you have a cycle, a menstrual cycle, you have to listen to that also. Okay. Because there are times of the month
to feed it.
When you need to be gentle with your body. You need to hear it when it's saying, I don't want to, I'm tired. Just, you need to take care of it and not push it in a place where it needs rest and replenishment. And so we can talk about that on another show or another episode, that the way the cycle goes and how fasting fits into that cycle and the best times to fast around that cycle. Now, this is not intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is fine because you're eating every single day and you're eating for a block of time every single day. So that's not going to affect the cycle as much as, say, like a 24, 36, or 72 hour fast would.
Right.
So we can talk about that after. But yeah, you get more secure and you realize you don't need food. You don't need food as much as you thought you needed food. As you start fasting, like, yikes, I thought I needed food all the time.
That's right.
But I don't.
And you know what that brings?
What?
That's funny you said that. Your body doesn't require food, and you won't be hungry a lot. And what that did for me was it brought me into, I want to say, a spiritual vein in that it allowed me to see what I was putting in it, because I wasn't in a rush to put it in it, in my body. You know, when we're hungry or when we're not fasting or when we're doing, we rush for the food. If you notice, we grab anything.
Yeah.
When you're fasting, you're in a different mindset, a different spiritual state, where if you think you're hungry or you are hungry and that what's before you is not nice, you're not even going to put it in your body, because you actually have time to look at what's going in there.
Yeah, slow your roll.
And it's almost like you don't want to do that. You don't want to put. We already did that for years.
It's definitely an awareness, that's for sure. There's a whole awareness level that you just start being more aware. It's kind of like when you get a new car and you get like a Nissan Sentra.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do something more.
Yeah,
fancy.
do something.
How about a I don't know,
I don't know nothing
Porsche.
about
I don't know. You get
Porsche,
put a car in the chat that I can use for this example.
Yeah.
A good car name,
and hopefully she can pronounce it.
A good car name. That's a McLaren. I don't know. So somebody put in a name of a good car I can use.
But anyway,
you get a new car and then all of a sudden you see your car on the road everywhere, as if they all just showed up. Like when you bought yours, everybody just bought theirs.
That's the truth.
And that's not what happened. What happened was you became aware of it now. And now you see it everywhere. Yeah. And that's kind of what she's saying, a Benz. Thank you.
A Benz,
right? So now you see Benzes everywhere. It's like, what's up with that? And then you even know that's the older model. That's the newer model. You start knowing all of that stuff because you have it. And that's what happens when you start fasting. The awareness just broadens.
Amazing.
Like, I'm paying attention to what I'm eating. Am I hungry? No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I feel this way. I'm emotional. Like, you just start tapping into all of that. And that's really an unsung benefit, really. Quite unsung, to be honest. But anyway, so as you realize you don't need food as often, you'll start compressing your window. So you'll start compressing your eating window a bit at a time. And you'll be extending your fasting window. And it's interesting because Ferwini, who put on a message earlier, said that she ended up fasting for 21 hours today. And that was not her intention, but it's kind of like,
that's what happened.
She was busy, she was doing, and she realized she wasn't hungry, and it just started happening. And that's what happens. So little bit by little, you'll be trying different fasting methods, and maybe once a month, once a week, just different things.
So can I say this now again?
Yes.
It's fun. I said it gentler this time.
It's so fun.
It really is so fun.
Oh my gosh, it's fun to not eat.
It is so long. But it's fun to be aware that you don't have to do that. Yeah. You don't have to eat.
Exactly. It is an awareness.
It's just so fun. I don't know.
So some of the few benefits of fasting. Okay, one of them is reduced hunger. Reduced hunger. I know it may not feel like that. When you the first couple of days, you might feel like, what? Yeah. All I can think about is food. Because as soon as you say, I'm not going to eat, then it's like,
oh, yeah,
I want to eat.
Oh, yeah, you always want to do something.
And then the person comes in the office with donuts that day, and then somebody asks you to come out to lunch.
All of a sudden,
and they say, I'm going to pay for it and everything while you're fasting, right? So, but the hunger after those few days, and you kind of train yourself, your hunger will be reduced. And the reason is because ghrelin. Ghrelin is it's a hormone that your stomach makes, and it's a hunger hormone, right? So it basically it makes you have an appetite. It increases the food that you take in. It's basically trying to get you to eat and then store fat. That's what that does.
I call it a gremlin.
The gremlin. Ghrelin is a gremlin, yes. Like eat, feed me. So the ghrelin signals the brain to tell the stomach, hey, to say, hey, my stomach's empty. So can you send some food? Tell them to eat. So it prompts you to feel hunger. But fasting actually reduces the ghrelin.
Yes.
So you don't feel all those hunger sensations. It's much less just because of the way the hormone is being regulated by fasting. And then also when you eat until you're full, instead of snacking like I used to do, eat a full meal, like eat a cheeseburger and maybe have a baked sweet potato and have some food, eat eggs, eat bacon, eat a waffle, like eat. Of course, I'm eating a keto waffle, but it's still a waffle.
Yeah.
Eat
low carb.
Eat. If you want to eat it, right? But eat until you're full, because then you won't be eating in an hour from now because you're too full to eat in an hour from now. You ate, right? How many times have you ate at a restaurant and you're leaving out of the restaurant? You're really full. You ate. You're leaving out and people are on their way in and you're like, ugh. I can't think of them being on their way into the I'm so full. I can't even think about that right now. You're full. You're not thinking about eating. So your ghrelin goes way down because you're full. So eating till you're full and fasting both help you with hunger, reducing your hunger.
That's true.
Anything you want to say about it?
That's true. We won't get into the eating the clean food and all that.
You're going to grow to eat cleaner and cleaner for sure.
Because that's really, once you start eating clean and healthy, because of the nutrients that I keep emphasizing
that's true.
Those nutrients will make you full faster and longer.
That's true. Better food quality for sure.
That's
absolutely. And you'll grow bit by bit into that as you grow into one after another for sure.
Because you mentioned the cheeseburger and something else you mentioned that
I eat cheeseburgers.
Yeah, but do you eat the wheat bread? Do you eat the crappy bread? No.
Okay, so
we're
not doing this because there's plenty of options here. We're not doing this, okay? Some people won't eat bread at all. You might eat.
I eat bread. But
you might eat ancient grain bread. You might eat low carb bread. There's so many options, you guys.
There are.
You might even bake your own bread. There's a lot of options here.
It's true. But anyway,
significant calorie restriction. Old school. Don't eat as many calories. Lower your calories. That significant restriction of calories actually raises your ghrelin. Did you hear that? It makes you hungrier.
Yeah.
So don't restrict. Eat. Eat. And your ghrelin will go down.
Yeah.
So that's one thing it does.
Yeah.
And then let's take a check and see what folks are saying. That's how it was teaching on Zoom. Okay. I was talking about how I can't get any feedback because we're just talking into the screen. And Kella said that's how it was teaching on Zoom. Like you're just teaching these kids and you get it's crickets. It's just crickets. You're talking to the screen by yourself.
Oh my God. That is so funny.
Amen. Okay. This question about fasting. Yes, Kella, we're going to answer that in a few minutes. And Sheila's going to change her schedule to 8 to 8 because of work. Good. That's excellent. That we had talked about that, making sure your fasting window, your eating window lines up with your life.
Yes.
Not the other way around. Don't do backflips to try to make your life fit into some schedule. You adjust and do what you do. Excellent. Sheila, that's the way to get success.
Yes.
Well done. So another thing that's a benefit of fasting, intermittent fasting, is mental clarity. No more brain fog. You get cognitive sharpness, memory, alertness, all of that clear mind, clear brain, and just like the synapses are popping off. Intermittent fasting helps with that a lot. Part of the reason is because of the production of the protein in the brain. So ketones, like when you're intermittent fasting, then ketones, because you're not giving your body sugar for so many hours, which is, when I say sugar, I mean any food is going to produce some level of insulin in order to digest it. right? So when you eat anything, it's going to produce the insulin, which is going to help the glucose to get inside your cells. So when you're not doing that for 12 hours, 14, 16, however, and obviously the longer you go, the better these benefits are. So that's why you start here, but you always want to grow to get even more benefits. So when you are fasting, then your brain is producing or your liver is producing ketones, which means you get to,
the brain gets happy.
yes, it goes in your bloodstream, all these ketones, and the brain really lights up with these.
It really does.
Yeah, and it produces neurons, more neurons in the brain. So,
and it gets your energy from your fat stores. So look at your body. Just take a look and see all the cute fat stores you have. All that visceral fat, that hard fat, that's where it goes. It goes after the fat, that hard fat. Is it visceral?
Visceral is the hard fat.
That's
usually it's around your midsection.
Yeah.
And it's not squishy at all. It's like a tough,
hard,
like a muscular, but it's fat.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's where it goes. It goes right after that. So
Yes.
I mean,
it does go there first.
Yes, it's the best benefit of all, but
even thin people have fat stores.
Yeah, but they got skinny fat.
I mean, no, literally, a thin, healthy person still has fat stores.
Absolutely.
Because the body's not gonna go without. It has to have fat stores. It's just not as many and it doesn't look as much as on us,
Right.
So, so neurons in the brain, and then energy, that led us into the third one, which is intermittent fasting really gives you energy. And that's one reason, is because
Because
ketones.
it's the fat. It's going into the fat.
Yeah,
That's where it's replacing the sugar with it's getting its energy from the fat storage. And that's the best benefit you can get. As a matter of fact, that's how you should be. It should be happening just that way.
So your body needs glucose and fat. It needs both of them. But the thing is, we give it so much glucose. It doesn't need all that glucose at all. And you know that because when you fast, there are people who could fast for 14 days. Right. Water and maybe like bone broth or something, or partial fast for 14 days. They're not eating sugar.
Nope.
But yet all this glucose is being produced in their body. Your body will produce the glucose itself. It doesn't need you.
No.
And it certainly doesn't need the processed or the white sugar or these sugars that we're eating, right? It doesn't need any of that. So our problem is that our society and the way that we live here in America, particularly, we have sugar in excess. Yeah. And so our bodies really can't manage it. And so when you see people with a lot of stored fat, like a lot of fat on the hips, thighs, like big chunks of fat, it's because fat cells can hold so much more than protein and carb cells can. So these fat cells, they expand. I think it's like 100 times their size. Yeah. And the body will just keep stuffing the fat in there and stuffing the fat. And then you see all the cellulite and all the funny shape because the cells are sort of bursting because they're just too full.
Right.
We're just eating too many.
The object is to get fat adapted.
Yes, that's correct.
That's the object.
Yes.
If you can get fat adapted instead of sugar adapted, you got it. You got health.
Correct.
You're going to be healthy.
Yes.
Okay. And so that's the key here. So getting into ketosis is a wonderful thing by low carbs, and you have more access to the intermittent fasting doing that. But that's what you want to do. You want to get fat adapted so that you can get healthy.
That's true. And the other thing about the fat cells, if you didn't know, is the fat cells contain all the toxins as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They all get stuffed in there. So when the body starts going into ketosis and using the fat, burning the fat for fuel, it's going to take that fat, they're going to burn it, and it's going to push all the toxin out with it. So that's why when you're fasting, you drink lots of water because you're flushing all that away from you. Not so much water that you... Okay, that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show called drinking too much water. This whole myth about drinking
just
your
drink
body weight in water and
no.
drinking 10 glasses, a gallon and a half.
No.
This is not what you want to do at all. Your body will tell you when it needs water and you will give it to it.
Yeah, drink when you're thirsty.
But you do want to drink adequate amounts of water to flush out as the fat's being used. You want to flush that out.
Right. And then, of course, those cells are zombie cells. They're all old cells. They're all bad cells. And the intermittent fasting, and the more you do that for the longer time, you go into autophagy. And when you go into autophagy, that's when they start taking away all those zombie cells, all those bad toxic cells that are no good anymore, that have been sitting there for God knows, and your new cells get an opportunity to come in.
Yeah.
And so that's how you begin your health. That's how
Yes.
you're getting healthier and healthier. And we ain't going to talk about the stem cells.
No, we're not.
I mean,
so we're not.
that is like,
that's a lovely thing to talk about, though. That's another night.
Oh,
There's so many benefits. Another night.
We won't do that.
It's getting late.
We won't do that.
So we want to start wrapping up. But we do want to invite you to go to our podcast. We had several episodes on intermittent fasting. We have a few episodes on fasting because we do water fasts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to even hear that and see what does it feel like to fast just water only for 5 days. And what is that like? And, just something to look for in the future, not to do now, but to kind of look towards. You can listen to that. There's shows on mindset, like we talked about. And there's even shows about getting started on low carb eating. So the 7 things that you should get out of your house, take out, and the 7 things that you need to make sure you have in your house so that you can start eating low carb. And so there's lots of good stuff there. So we invite you to listen to that stuff. And you talked about the Facebook group.
The Facebook group.
And I think that's pretty much all we have for tonight. Let me look at the questions so we can answer the question that was put in here. Oh, it's Monique. Hi, Monique.
Hi, Monique.
She said it's Monique. Okay, hi. All right, I see a question here. It says, do you keep the same fasting schedule every day, or can it change? Or are there days you don't fast at all? You want to take
Definitely change up. You want to always, even your diets, you want to change up for periods of time because you want your body to adapt.
Yes.
You want your body to be able to handle every situation. If you do something the same all the time, the body just is doing that all the time. Nothing is happening. It's just like that. You want to make sure you change.
Yes.
For me now, because every day is different for me, I do have a schedule that I would like 18 hours. I would like 20 hours, but sometimes it'll go 16. I'll say, you know what? I need to eat now because I got to do something tonight or whatever. I might go do the whole 24 hours, whatever. Yes. Be flexible. You can do 12 for 3 or 4 days, or you can do every day, do it different. It doesn't matter. Fast.
Yes.
That's the key.
It is.
Just fast.
Yes.
Don't do anything less than 12 hours.
If possible.
If possible.
If once in a while, listen, like I said, once in a while.
That's fine.
But this is your norm. What she's saying is your norm.
That's right.
That's your norm.
That's right.
We are not robots. We are people.
That's
so
right.
although this is our norm,
That's
there's going to be a day here or something. You're going to travel and something's going to go wacky.
Like that. Yeah.
Don't get all like twisted up about it.
No.
You're getting on a plane, you're traveling, you get a layover, you end up in the airport, something happens.
That's right.
You may end up fasting way longer, or you might end up eating way earlier.
Yes.
It's fine. As long as your norm, your body is going to know how to handle these little blips.
But remember, the norm is nothing less than 12 hours.
That's right. That's right.
Because the digestion is speaking that. It's telling you that.
And that's scientific.
So I don't care what else you do. Don't eat for 12 hours.
Yes.
Now, whatever you do from that point on is going to happen. You do it. It's wonderful. Yeah, you can vary. Maybe you don't do 16 hours today and you do 12 tomorrow and you do 14, whatever.
Yes.
Or you do the same thing for a while. But if you notice it, that you're doing the same thing for a long time.
A long time is
change
like
it.
She's talking like 3-4 months or something. She's not
change
talking
it.
About
Change it.
Yes.
Change it so that the body can say, oh, okay, I can handle this too. Because that's the purpose of doing that, is to have the body adapt to all kinds of situations to keep you healthy.
True. And think about your room. You know how there's some people who change their furniture around a lot.
Oh,
They get new things to redecorate, or they, change the curtains, or think about, how you look at the same thing every day. And after a while, it's almost like you don't even see it anymore. It's just dull. And you go out and you get a new rug, or hey, let's change the furniture. Let's put the sofa over here. And then how does that feel? You're like, ooh, this looks cool.
Whole new world.
It's like all of a sudden you got this like lift, right? That's what happens in the body when it's like it's doing the same thing for so long. It's almost like it gets kind of complacent and kind of it lays back like, all right, I already know how to do this. I don't need to put no effort in. And then you change, like, wait, what's she doing? Wait, what's going on now? And then it's like, and it starts moving and shaking, and that's what you want to happen. It's a positive stress, which is good for the body to keep it moving. That's how we were made. We were always moving around as, ancient man. We were never sitting around all day on our desks and eating at will, and we just weren't. So anyway, so that's the answer. So the answer is yes, you can make those adjustments as needed, and please do. And the more you fast, the more you'll understand what your personal body is asking for. For you in particular, if you have a job that's very stressful, or you have a schedule that's very, very hectic, you might feel like I need to do something different today. I can't. I'm broken right now. And that's okay. Give yourself grace. This is a journey, not a marathon, not a race, not a short, a sprint.
That's right.
It's not a sprint, it's a journey. If you eat outside your window and you just get jacked up, you fall in the pit, you just sit and eat ice cream on the couch for 2 days and crying, the third day will come. You know what I mean? Like, another day will come. I'm not inviting you to do all those things, but if it happens, it's okay. Move on, get up and do something else. Just keep living, learning, and growing. Keep living, learning, and growing.
That's right. Keep loving yourself.
Yes.
Self-caring.
Yes.
And you'll be amazed at who you end up being. Because when you do it for you, you'll be able to give it to your children, your family, your husband. Your husband will give it to his wife. It's just paying it forward.
That's for sure.
Okay, but loving you first is the key.
So that's what we got for you today. I will say there is no webinar tomorrow night. No webinar tomorrow night. It's Wednesday night. No webinar.
Midweek.
Go get some spiritual time. Get some rest. Just kind of reflect a little bit on what all's been going on these last couple of days. Take care of your body. Your body is your temple.
Yes.
It's your temple. You want to learn what it needs. You want to take care of it. You want to do everything you can to take
your temple back.
That's our slogan.
Absolutely. Take it back.
So tell a friend to join us on Thursday night, 7:30. We also have Friday night at 7:30.
Yes.
And that will be our 5-day intermittent fast.
Yes. Can we talk about stem cells then?
Okay, well, we're going to talk about. Oh, somebody asked me yesterday about the ice drink. Who was that?
Oh yeah, the ice
Somebody
drink.
asked me about the ice drink.
Yeah, one of was it Kella? It was one of them.
I don't remember who it was, but I did test the ice drink today, and it did not raise my glucose.
There you go.
It did not raise mine. So if
there
you have a glucometer, check your own.
Yep.
But it didn't raise mine. So.
Yeah. And I think it's stevia in there. I think it's. Oh, I said stevia.
Know. I don't know what it is.
She calls it
stevia. It might not be the best.
Yeah.
It may be an artificial sweetener, to be honest.
I don't think so. I don't think it's artificial, but I'm not sure. But I think there is stevia in it, but there might be something. But anyway.
So here's what I'll say about the ice drink, okay? If you are on the high bar, remember we talked about the gold standard. If you want to see the gold standard, that means you're reaching for that over time. The gold standard, I probably would drink a little of it and not drink it often.
That's all. Yeah.
For me, the ice drink is sweet for me now. It didn't used to be sweet for me at all. It used to just feel normal.
Yeah.
But through the years, it tastes really sweet. So the way I drink the ice drink is I use seltzer water and I use the ice. And those of you who weren't here yesterday, the ice drink is that sparkling water called Ice. It's the brand called Ice. And there's no-name brands too, like Frost and Chill and stuff like that. They're those drinks. So I would get a seltzer water and I would put, say, like 1/3 of the bottle of ice, and I'd mix it with some seltzer water. And that way it still bubbles, it's still sparkling, but it's less of the sweet and more of the sparkle. Yes. So feel free to kind of keep, and you can even wean yourself that way, bit by bit. If you have the ice bottle, literally keep just the top, put just this bit of seltzer water in it, but it's mostly all ice. Do that for a while. And then a little bit, and before you know it, it's half and half. Yeah. And before you know, so you can wean your taste buds without suffering at all. There's no suffering. Yeah. You're feeling like it tastes the same, because when I drink that ice drink, this much of it in a whole bottle, Like I'll have this bottle and this much of it will be that eye stream.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to kid you. It tastes like it's the whole one
Yeah.
to me. And I know it's not, but that's how it tastes because my taste buds have changed so much
Yes.
over the time.
Yes.
So take advantage of these little steps and you don't have to suffer. You never feel a loss at all.
No.
You're getting everything you want
Yeah.
and you're still moving in the direction you want to. So,
Yeah.
so there you go. I hope that answered that. So I guess we're done. Nobody else has questions.
Hey.
I'm so excited that you guys came. Thank you so much for spending some
Yes.
time with us and engaging and interacting and
Yes.
asking questions. It's
Yes.
really been amazing. I enjoyed it.
Really has.
Yes. So
It's been real emotional.
Go have a great night.
Enjoy. Yes, enjoy your night. We'll see you Thursday night.
Okay.
Get into the Facebook community if you have questions or you would like to, like I said, know some brand names of some products that you might be thinking about or whatever. Just get on that community, ask your question or share your thoughts. It'd be perfect. It's your community. It's your Facebook, so get on it.
So right before we leave, someone came on and said he can't see the screen. It's black. I would love to know if the rest of you who are on are able to see us clearly. If you'll just put that in the chat for a second, just to clear this up in case there's something technical I need to do for the next time. If you'll do that, I'll just hang tight for a minute to see if that's the case. Can everyone see? It's on delay. So it takes a minute for them to see that. I don't see anything. Okay, well, I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, wait. Yes, you can see. Okay. So maybe that's just Isaiah's phone. Thank you for letting me know that. So thank you all for coming on. It's been amazing, a great night, and we hope to see you on Thursday night at 7:30.
Enjoy your midweek.
Have a lovely day off and have a lovely night.
Yes.
God bless.
Take your temple back.
Bye. They're saying bye. There it is.
I can see.